So we are right in the thick of flu season, of course, with an added dash of COVID. And if you're like most business owners, then at the moment you're probably dealing with a number of competing interests. And one of the big ones at the moment is, I'm really busy and I've got a lot of work that needs doing, and yet I've got employees who are sick and they're coming into work, and I'm worried about them being at work when they're sick for their own health and the health of everybody else. So what do I do? I'm 𝙤𝙤𝙣𝙪𝙩𝙚𝙣. I'm the founder of 3D HR Legal and the author of Home Force, a book which is helping employers build and create connected and engaged remote work teams. So what do we do in these circumstances where we've got sick employees and work that needs doing? Can we actually ask these employees to take sick leave? Well, the answer to that question is yes, but of course there are some limitations and some concerns around how we go about it. The starting point is, if you've got an employee who shows up to work sick, you can see that they're sick or you're worried about them from a productivity perspective, you might just start by going up and saying, you don't seem to be at full speed at the moment. Do you think maybe you should go home and focus on getting well? In some cases, the employees will respond straight away with, oh yes, that would be great. I'm really not feeling well. Perhaps they were just there because they wanted you to see that they were sick. They felt that you needed to see it. Or perhaps they've been worried about a particular piece of work, but by you talking to them, they've been able to have the conversation about that piece of work, and you've been either able to delegate it to someone else or say that it's okay, there's still plenty of time to get it done. On the other hand, you might find the employee who's like, no, I've got to be here. This has got to get done. I'm fine. It's all okay. If you're still really concerned about them, then be a little bit more direct. You don't look well, you're coughing, you're spluttering. I can see that you're not, at your full productivity as you normally would be. I want you to go home. I think you need to go home to get better, focusing on yourself, and also to prevent the spread of this to anyone else in the office, because we also need to care for the safety of others in the workplace. It's not just about getting the work done. If they're determined, then you might say to them, okay, if you think you're okay, then I really would like you to get a medical certificate to confirm that you're actually okay to be here at work. Remembering that you, the employer and the manager, aren't a doctor. So we can't, as employers, make that decision about whether someone is actually fit or not fit to be at work. Sometimes in this instance, you're going to get the employer who says, it's okay, I'll work from home. Or they might even call up on a particular day and say, I'm not feeling that great today, so I'm going to work from home. And this is where we have a bit of trouble, because on the one hand, it may be that, yes, you don't want them to give what they've got to somebody else, and them working at home removes that safety risk to everybody else. But what it still means is that the employee is still sick and they're still not resting, which means that potentially they're not going to get better as quick. And also, they're probably not at their best productivity level, which might mean that they're impacting on the work of others anyway, because they're not getting things done as they should be. So you've got to balance that need between, is it still valuable getting some work done, or is it better for that employee to be completely resting and getting well? And only you and that employee can be in the position to make that decision at the time. If you're dealing with lots of these types of scenarios where people are trying to work all the time while they're sick, or always wanting to, work from home when they're feeling a bit under the weather, then you might need to have a look at your workplace culture. Is it the fact that people are being rewarded for coming in to work when they're sick? Oh, good on you. You've come in even when you're a bit under the weather. It's good to show that you're really showing your drive and support for the business and your dedication. Is it the fact that the leaders are coming into work when they're sick or working from home and showing the rest of the organisation that that's actually what you need to do when you work in this place? If you've got some questions like that, or you're concerned about how to have these conversations or to implement the right fitness from work policies, then get in touch with us at 3D HR Legal. You can do that by email at hello@3dhrlegal.com.au.